because being on the streets, seeing the victims of crime, I was always a believer that innocent people should not be the victims of violence. And that was not always the tone. When I ran for mayor and I said I'm running on the platform of public safety, my consultant said you could never win on that. There's no way you can win on the public safety platform. You got to run on another platform. And I said, no, I know what I'm seeing every day.
Interesting.
And I've always stayed focused on that. That was always my North Star. And the reason even Madani can start talking about affordability and other things, because I made the city darn safe. We're the safest big city in America. And so I've always pushed back on what I felt was wrong. I was always rooted in your belief. Don't go away from what you believe in. And if you Google me from 20, 40 years ago, you're going to say this guy was saying the same thing. He was always pushing public safety and justice, without knowing me, saying what they doing to this mayor. This is wrong what they doing to this mayor.
I saw that.
Many people didn't read the indictment. I was charged and indicted for calling the fire department and asking them to do a building inspection, not to pass it, do a building inspection, because the president of Turkey was coming to see the opening of his new building. And they stated that, you know, throughout the last 10 years, when you traveled and paid for the trip, you asked for upgrades. I got upgrades when I went on governmental travel, and when I was on personal travel, do we have more leg room? What's asked all the time. They took that and said that because you called the fire department and asked them to do a building inspection, that we're going to charge you with bribery. I was facing 33 years in prison. 33 years in prison. And it wasn't until I read Kash Patel's book, Government Gangsters, that you see the lawfare that has been taking place in our country.
What?
What Americans need to know is that they felt as though they were sovereign. Their mindset was they're sovereign. Just think about that for a moment. Sovereign, when you're sovereign, you don't respond to anyone. They didn't feel they were supposed to respond to main justice. They didn't feel they were supposed to respond to the president. They felt as though they were an entity within America. That's not in the Constitution. Everyone answers to someone.